Hello everybody, I am E. Krishnarao Patro, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from IRE College, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today we will discuss about one more important topic, that is collision resolution techniques. How to resolve the collision. There are different resolving techniques are there. One is chaining technique, second one is open addressing technique. So whenever two keys are mapping to same index, then that is called collision. So whenever collision occurs, there are different techniques are there. Those techniques are, one is chaining technique, second one is open addressing technique. Under open addressing, this open addressing also known as closed hashing. There are variety types of collision resolution, means open addressing techniques: linear proving, quadratic proving, and double hashing. So you can use any of the technique to resolve the collision. Okay, please remember, collision resolution techniques are two types: open hashing, second one is closed hashing. Open hashing is nothing but chaining, and closed hashing may be linear proving or quadratic proving or double hashing. Now see, first we will see chaining. This idea is to use whenever the number of records are not known well before. Okay, so the idea is to make each cell of hash table point to a linked list of records that have same hash function value. So whenever multiple keys generate same hash index, that time those values you would keep in a single linked list. So like this, you have to generate multiple linked list. Every linked list will be mapping to a particular index area. So separate chaining, it looks like a set of linked list. This chaining technique looks like a set of linked list. The advantage of this chaining is it is easy to implement, and hash table will never fill up. We can always add more element to the chain and less sensitive to the hash function or the load factors. It is mostly used when it is unknown and how many frequently keys may be inserted and deleted. That means if you are not knowing which key will come and when it will come and how many keys will come, if the number of keys are not known well before, then this chaining technique will be more useful. The disadvantage is the cache performance of chaining is not good as keys are stored using a linked list. Open addressing provides better cache performance as everything is stored in a same table. And there is a wastage of space because it maintains a linked list. Every node will be pointing to one more node. Additional memory will be required. If the chain becomes long, then search time can be order of n. So instead of order of 1, it may go for order of n. So it uses extra space for links. These are the disadvantages. So whenever collision occurs, you can use this chaining technique by arranging the data in a linked list pattern. You can see like this. First index may be pointing to set of keys which are having same index. Similarly, second index, hash index, it may point to one more linked list. Assume here in this example, with one key, with one index, 3 nodes are coming. That means 3 keys mapping to same index. Similarly, for 2, there are 2 keys are mapping to same area. So like this, you can maintain a set of linked list. So this is more flexible, but it may take extra memory. Okay, let us consider another example to open addressing. A hash function you may design. The function may be modular division k mod 7. Here I have taken k mod 7, and the sequence of keys are 50, 700, 76, 85, 92, 73 and 101. So these are the set of keys. Those set of keys you have to store in a hash table. So while designing hash table, you should keep in mind the hash table should be large enough to accommodate space for almost all keys. If space is limited, then there is a chance of collision. Okay, now let us observe here. Now my capacity of hash table is how much here? 0 to 6. 0 to 6 means I can store maximum 7 keys or 7 values. So 50, I will apply key mod 7. That means key is 50. 50 modulo 7. How much? 50 modulus 7. That is 7. Sorry, 50 modulus 7. That is 1. So it will go to 1th position. So 50 will be stored in the 1th place. Initially, the hash table was empty. So after calculating the position, it will store here. Next, the value is 700. So when you divide 700 by 7, the remainder will be 700 modulus 7. So the remainder will be 0. So it will go to the 0th position. So data is stored in the 0th position. Next, how much? 76 has come. Whenever 76 has come, 76 modulus 7. So, sorry, not 76, 85. Here we have taken, okay, 76 means how much? 76 modulus 7 is, the remainder will be 6. So it will go to the 6th position and store 76. Next comes 85. Whenever 85 comes, 85 modulus 7 and the indexing remainder will be 1. So it will go to the 1th position and it creates a link because it is maintaining a linked list. So from 50 it pointing here. That means 50 and 85 both are pointing to same index. Generally it's supposed to be collision. So to resolve the collision we are maintaining a chain or we are maintaining a linked list. Okay. Next 92. Whenever 92 comes, again divide 92 modulus 7. There also you are getting 1. So it is stored here 85 then link with 92. Okay. So 92 is inserted here. After 92 then 73 comes. When 73 comes, 73 modulus 7. So the index is 3. So in the 3rd position you can store the data 73. Okay. Next 101. When 101 comes, 101 modulus 7. So the remainder is 3. So as 73 is already available, so it will be linked with this. So my linked list is now created. So like this, it will maintain a set of links. So chaining techniques maintain set of linked list. So this way, the data will be stored in a chaining way in the hash table. Next, open addressing. So in open addressing, all elements are stored in hash table itself. So at any point, the size of the table must be greater than or equal to the total number of keys. So the main goal is what? The hash table must be large enough to store all the keys. If the hash table is small and keys are more, then there is chance of high collision. So you must have a large table. When table is large and keys are available, but it may be means pointing to same place. Multiple keys may point to same place. In that case, there is chance of collision. So to avoid collision, you can use this open addressing technique. So open addressing is one of the collision resolving technique. As I told you, there are 3 varieties of collision resolving technique under open addressing. One is linear proving, second is quadruple proving, and double hashing. So these are the standard techniques. First one is linear proving. In linear proving, we linearly prove for the next slot. For example, the typical gap between the two proofs is 1. So after finding the position, you will go to next position, whether it is empty or not. Again go to next position, whether empty or not. Wherever you find empty position, there you can store the data. The main problem with the linear proving is clustering. So many consecutive elements form groups and starts taking time to find a free slot to such an element. So whenever you are using this linear proving, there is chance of clustering because it will go in a sequence. Wherever it finds the empty place, there it will store. So this is the nature of the linear proving. Now please observe here. Here you are having the set of data 50, 700, 76 and 85, 92, 73, 101. Now my initially the table is empty. Now first 50 comes. 50 is stored in the 1th position because key mod 7. If you apply 50 modulo 7, so the remainder is 1. So 1th position data is stored. Next 700 comes. 7 means the remainder will be 0. So 0th position. Up to this there is no collision. Now 76 comes. When 76 comes, 76 modulus 7, so it gives 6. So up to this also there is no collision. So 76 stored in the 6th position. Then again 85 comes. When 85 comes, 85 gives the remainder 2. So it is stored in the 2nd position. So up to this also there is no collision. Now 85. 85 modulus 7. So remainder 1, sorry. So it has come to this position, 1th position. But data is already available. So there is a collision. So when the collision occurs, what you have to do, because you are following the linear proving, you come to the next slot. Earlier this slot was empty. So in that slot, the 85 will be stored because you are following linear proving. As you're supposed to store this value in the first position, but in the first position already 50 is there. So for that sake, you have to come down, check whether this slot is free or not. Yes, this slot is free. So 85 will be stored here. So this is the nature of linear proving. After storing 85, then 92 comes. 92 modulus 7. Here also gives the remainder 1. But in 1th position already data 50 is there. Then come to next position. 85 is there already. So this slot also not free. Then come to next position. Next position means 3rd position. So in the 3rd position this slot is free. So the 92 will be stored in the 3rd position. So this is the nature of linear proving. It will go on in a sequence. Wherever it finds empty place, there it will store. Next, 73 comes. 73 means 73 modulus 7, 3, 3rd position. But in the 3rd position, already data 92 is already available. So there is a collision. So when there is a collision, again come down. Come to next slot. So next slot means the 4th position. So this slot is free. So in that free position, the 73 will be stored. Next comes 101. Now 101 modulus 7. When you divide by 7, 7 1 is 7, 3, 31, 7 4 is 28, then 3. It's supposed to go to 3rd position, but 3rd position is already filled. Then come to next. So the empty place will be 101. This place, this will be free. So like this, the data will be stored. So this is the nature of linear proving. Next, quadratic proving. In the quadratic proving, what happens? Instead of checking in a sequence manner, you can check I-squared position. So you instead of going in a sequence, go to I-squared slot. So first go to 1, then go to 4, then go to 9, then 16. So I-squared slot. Whenever I is 1, first time, go to first slot. Whenever I is 2, it's square, that is 4, 4th position. Whenever I is 3, then go to 9th position. That means where the collision occurs, from that position, you go 9 step forward like this. First time, one step forward. Second, 4th slot forward. Then 9th. So keep on going. Next. Instead of going in a sequence, you jump to this place. So that is the nature of quadratic proving. Okay. So you can see here, h of key plus I square of mod n. So that gives a new value. In that position, the value will be stored. First you check if slot of hash x and modulus s is full. S means the size of your table. If it is full, then go to I square position, because I told you I means initially 1. Go to this position. If this slot is also full, then go to 2 square position. If that slot is also full, then go to 3 square. Like this, keep on going until you find the requested, means the empty place where you can store the data. Okay. So this is the nature of quadratic proving. Similarly, double hashing. The double hashing is also another approach. Instead of doing single time hashing, you have to do 2 times. So you have to design 2 functions. Every function will have its own logic. If the first function generates some key, if that means generates some index, if that index is under the collision place, then apply the second function. That function should be sufficient enough to generate a new position where you will find empty slots. Okay. You can observe here that 2 functions how you have to design. First you go through this. Double hashing uses the idea of applying second hash function to the key when collision occurs. when collision occurs, you have to apply the second hash function. Instead of checking slot by slot, you have to apply one more hash function. That hash function will give you a new position. In that position, you have to store the value. The primary hash function determines the home address. If the home address is occupied, apply the second hash function to get a number C relatively which is prime to n. This C is added to home address to produce an overflow address. If occupied, proceed by adding C to the overflow address until empty slot is found. So please observe here, you have to write two functions. One is h1, second is h2. h1 key, h1 is function, takes key as a parameter, and that function will apply this logic key mod n, where n is the size of hash table. That will give a key, means the index. In that index, if the data found okay, or if the data is already available, then there is a collision. In that case, apply the second hash function. In that hash function, the technique is what? P minus key of mod P, where P is the prime number. Okay. Assume a table of size 10 slot and primary hash function key mod 10 and secondary function key mod 7. So with double hashing, you can store the value. Now you can apply this two function in a set of data. For example, you are having the data 89, 18, 49, 58 and 69. These are the list of data. And under the list 2, 18, 26, 35, 9. Now you have to apply the hash function and store the value. Assume 89. This you are applying what? Double hashing. You are applying double hashing. That means you have to apply two times. First I am applying to h1. h1 is 89. That gives you the index 9. That is the primary hashing. So initially your table is assume empty. So in the 9th place your data can be stored. 89 can be stored. Next h1 of 18 modulus 10. That gives you 8th position. So 18 will be stored here. So that means whenever there is no collision, that means it will be empty slot, then data can be stored. So for 89 and 18 there is no problem at all. There was no collision at all. So data can be stored. Next 49. When you apply to 49, h1 of 49, 49 modulus 10, that gives you 9. But in the 9th position already data is there. So that means there is a collision. So whenever collision occurs, that time you have to apply second hash function. Your second hash function is 7 minus key modulus 7. So here key is 49. 49 modulus 7. That is 0. 7 minus 0. That is 7. So 7th position. Go to 7th position. In the 7th position, the data 49 will be stored here. So that means that slot is free. So you have to design the second hash function in such a way that it must give you the empty position. Similarly 58. 58 modulus 10. That gives value 8. But already 8th position is filled. So whenever that type of situation comes, that means the collision comes, you have to apply the second hash function. The second hash function is what? 7 minus key modulus 7. So this value must be a primary number. So 7 minus 58 modulus 7. That is 1. 7, sorry. Now 58 modulus 2. 2 means 7 minus 2, that is 5. So it gives you 5th position. 5th position is free now. So go to 5th position and store 58. 58 can be stored. Similarly 69. 69 modulus 10, that is 9. So the 9th position is already filled. So there is a collision. So whenever collision comes, 7 minus 69 modulus 7. So it gives you the position 1. So go to first position. So in the first position, the data can be stored here. So that means you are able to resolve the collision. Of course, collision comes means your searching time will be more. So this is the way that double hashing works. There is a difference between separate chaining and open addressing. Chaining is simple to implement and open addressing is require more computation. Second, in chaining, hash table never fills up. We can always add more element to chain. Whereas in open addressing, table may become full. The third difference is chaining is less sensitive to the hash function or load factor. Whereas in the case of open addressing, it requires extra care to avoid clustering and load factor. And the fourth difference, chaining is mostly used when its number of keys are not known. Whereas in open addressing, It is used when the frequency and number of keys are well known. The fifth difference is cache performance of chaining is not good as keys are stored using linked list. Whereas in open addressing provides better cache performance as everything is stored in the same table. And the sixth difference is in chaining there is a wastage of space because it maintains the link for everything. In open addressing, slot can be used even if input does not make up. So you can differentiate in the way. Chaining uses extra space for links where no links are used in open addressing. Okay, and you can see where these hashings are used. Hashing is used for performance improvement, error checking, authentication. Of course, this may be used whenever you are searching some data from a huge database. That time also hashings are used. In error checking, hashes are used to detect errors caused by either hardware or software. Hashing also useful to construct the message authentication code, MAC code. So whenever you want to generate the MAC code, that time also hashings are used. And hashing also useful in digital signature and make commitment but reveal the message later timestamp. So hashing generally is useful for searching data in constant amount of time. So whenever you need constant amount of time for searching, that time always use hashing. So try to avoid collision. Okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.